hey there, greetings and salutations, and welcome back to another episode of I'm not really an ASE certified mechanic, but I just play one on YouTube. And perhaps you have a late model GM product, like a Malibu or an Impala or anything with StabiliTrac, and you have this little warning that shows up on your screen. And your little spin out icon here is illuminated, and your anti-lock brakes thing is illuminated. And you might be wondering, well, how do I fix that? Maybe I'll just take her down to AutoZone and they can scan it for free. That's not going to work, because this has nothing to do with your check engine light. And you either need to go to the dealership or to an ASE certified mechanic that has the proper equipment to diagnose your powertrain systems. So this light showed up shortly after we had some real heavy rains in Vegas, and my wife was working in Vegas that particular week and driving through these low areas, and this light popped up. So we took it to a mechanic here in town, took it to the shop, and they ran a scan tool on it, and he also cleared the code, but it came right back on before we even got to the end of the street. And they determined that it was the wheel sensor, or something to do with the wheel sensor in the right rear. Having gotten that information, it told me where to look. And doing some research, I figured it could have been one of a few things. If it happens to be the pump that drives the analog brakes, that can be really expensive, like in the thousands of dollars. And getting a junkyard unit may be an option, but there's never any guarantee that those are any good either. The other thing it could be is the computer itself. I don't know where it's at. You know, it has something to do with the control systems, the computer, the brain, the electronics part of the thing. I don't even know where to begin to look for that. It could be the sensors. There's one sensor on each wheel. Or it could be the reluctor ring that's on the wheel bearing that sends a signal to the sensor, so the sensor can tell the computer how to manage the wheel speed on each corner. Probably the primary cause of the StabiliTrac light illuminating and having those other two lights on is related to the reluctor ring that's on the wheel bearing. And the wheel bearing hubs on the Malibu, the wheel bearing hubs are the same part number on each corner. So I went online and I bought a new wheel bearing hub, and I got to replace the right rear one and show you how easy of a repair it is. And if you have to take it to a mechanic, it could cost somewhere north of $1,000. Depending where you take it, could cost anywhere between $500 and $1,000. Right now I got to get this car jacked up and get a jack stand underneath it, get the rear tire off, and we'll pick it up from there, and I'll show you what needs to be done. Fair enough? Well, let's go then. Alright, once your tire's off, you need to get the brake caliper off, and that's held on with these two bolts. What we're trying to do is access these 4 bolts back in here, and that's what bolts the hub on. There's one there. Anyway, there's a few bolts in there. 1, 2, 3 bolts. Alright, as you can see, I've got things pretty much tore apart here. This is part of the upper control arm. Take that taken off. Here's the other part of the upper control arm. It's 2 pieces, and that connects to here. You got that off. Sway bar link, take that off, and loosened the lower control arm bolts. This aluminum piece here and the stamped steel piece here. Loosen those up so you can turn the spindle down, and that allows you to get access to the bolts. So let me spin these bolts off, take the hub off, and I'll show you why I was getting a service StabiliTrac warning on my information center up on the dashboard. So while we're in here talking about this, how about you go ahead and subscribe and click on the like button and share this with everybody. Because I'm getting too fat, too old to be crawling around on the floor fixing this garbage. Daddy needs a 4-post lift. Help a brother out, would you? One of the reasons why I love living in the desert Southwest, this just fell right off. I mean, once I got the bolts off, it just fell right off. It didn't need to be pried or hammered or anything like that. No rust, no salt, no rust. The bearing doesn't feel bad, but here's why I was getting that service StabiliTrac. This right here is the reluctor ring for the sensor. It picks up the wheel speed. That sensor tells the computer whether or not one wheel is spinning faster than the other, and that tells the anti-lock brake system how to work. This is an integral part of it. And you can see that there's pieces missing. That's pretty common with these wheel bearing assemblies. This car has, well, let's go see how many miles this thing has on it. 115,141 miles. We bought this car with 8,000 miles on it on Valentine's Day 2014. It's a 2013 Malibu. And so far, the only thing that we've had to have done, and it was done under warranty, was ready to replace the shifter sensor. The shifter's not actually attached to anything. It's all done by wire. And that shifter sensor tells the transmission what gear to put itself in. And that sensor would bad and it wouldn't start, which isn't a problem that you want to have. So we had that replaced. I think we had it replaced at like 65,000 miles. It was done under warranty and it didn't cost us anything. And this didn't show up until about 1,000 miles ago. I want you to notice something else here. Those are the factory brake pads. I'll probably get 200,000 miles out of those brakes. Fun facts to know when you know. You see? That's very nice. Don't worry, they're all made in China. There you are. 513-288. That's the part number. So let me get this thing back together and we'll come back and talk about it. Okay, before you tighten everything down, you want to make sure that the weight of the vehicle, in this case I got the jack on the lower control arm, you want to have the weight bearing on the control arms before you tighten down the lower control arms and the upper control arm bolts. Otherwise, if you do it while the suspension's in droop, the bushings will be invined and you'll tear the bushings right out of the control arms. So don't do that. 9 times out of 10, that's what the problem is going to be. It's going to be that that little reluctor ring on the back of the bearing there is going to be chowdered, and you got to replace that. Now, I'm into this now. This is the first time I've ever done this job. I'm into this for about 2 hours, and now that I've done it once, I can probably cut that time in half. But I would imagine that if you were to have a writer write this up and give you an estimate, it would probably be 3 hours worth of labor and $250, $300 for the parts. So it's probably about a $700, $800 job. I'm into this for about 60 bucks plus my time. by itself.
Moments later.
Let's take a look. I fixed it. I'm a real boy. If you found this video to be entertaining and informative, you know what to do. Hammer away at that like button. Just smash it to bits. And then share this with your vast social media network. Any questions or comments down in the comment section, hammer away at the keys. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe and then click that bell icon. Be notified of future uploads. And I'm going to wrap this thing up, and I think my wife wants to take the kids to McDonald's or Burger King or something. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep powder dry, and have a splendid day. Bye.